on advanced tools and techniques for research methodology. Today marks the sixth day of the FDP, focusing on the topic application of Excel for data analysis. This program is organized by the Research Foundation of India, RFI-CARE, and BPIT with sponsorship from JHERF, Academic Research Guide Association, and Edu Academic Inc. It is my pleasure to once again welcome our esteemed and meticulous expert for today, Dr. Chanchala Jain Ma'am, an assistant professor at the Prestige Institute of Management and Research, Indore. As you all are already familiar with Chanchala Ma'am from her previous session on hypothesis development and testing, so without taking much more of your time, I would like to request Madam to please initiate today's session. Over to you, Ma'am.
Thank you so much, Neha ma'am, for introducing me one more time with the participants available on the platform. Thank you. Very good evening, all the friends available here on this virtual platform. I Dr. Chanslajan, welcome you all. I think this is the day 6, right, Neha ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
On the day 6 of this FDP. We already connected or interacted in the previous session. I think that I have taken on the 4th of June. No, I think 6th of June, right? So today I'm taking a session on the Excel, how we can use Excel for the analysis of the data. So I think the session will be hands-on. I have already shared the sheet with the Ajay sir and the Yograj sir. I hope people have received the sheet. I hope yes. Any confirmation from your side? Participants, friends, please say, have you received the sheet or not?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay, Sarkar, sir, thank you so much. So, without delaying and without going,
Sorry, ma'am, for interrupting. Can they send it again to the group? I haven't received the Excel file.
I think you need to, ma'am, request with the RFI member. I think, Yogra sir, are you there? Are you listening? Yoga sir, will you please share the sheet in a group? I think I have shared with you on WhatsApp. Okay, sir is writing, he is sharing on a WhatsApp group. So please, participants and friends, please check on a WhatsApp group. Meanwhile, I'm starting with the session. Once you are getting that, please let me know so that we can start, right? So friends, here I'm talking about the data analysis part. Previously, we have seen the, okay, I think sir has given a message, he has shared. So please check your WhatsApp. So friends, previously we have seen hypothesis development, and I think you also know what are the methods we are using to collect the data, right? After collecting the data in the research, there is a role of analysis of the data. So for analyzing the data, there are various different softwares available. Using that, we can analyze the data. The very simple software among all the softwares which are available is the Excel, and I think we all are familiar with that. We all know how to use Excel, right? So using that particular software, we can easily analyze the data. Although there are certain limitations of Excel, but still for a beginner or maybe for a person who do not want to perform much statistical tools on the data, they can go with the simple calculations using the Excel, right? So I think again, I do not need to much talk about what is the interface of the Excel. I think every one of you are familiar. We all know what is the what I can say the interface of the Excel, right? We all know it is a very simple the combination of rows and column, and using that we can analyze the data. We can put the data into that, and we can perform various kind of what I can say formula, function, etc. We can perform, and also we can use the one particular data analysis tool pack there. I will tell you how to try to associate that particular tool pack into the Excel, and using that how you can analyze the data, right? So now I think I'm directly moving to the Excel. I think friends, before going to the Excel, I want to know few things about the analysis part from you people. Any one of you, will you please tell me what are the measurement scales? Have you heard about measurement scales previously? Please be interactive. Don't be only the audience in the session, because if you will interact, you will learn, and I think I will also learn along with you if you will ask questions to me. Okay, I think you people are writing in a chat. That is very good. But thing is, friends, when I will share my screen, I'm unable to see anything. So it will be good if you can unmute yourself and can interact.
Ma'am,
So
there are, I think, four scales
yes.
in nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio.
Very correct. So there are four skills. Ma'am is very correct. Ritika ma'am said there are four measurement skills available. That is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. So I think you all have listen. Maybe you people have studied also during the questionnaire development. The speakers have discussed with you what are the measurement skills available, and using that how you can develop your questionnaire. Right. Today I have shared the data with all of you, but in that data you can find in the particular workbook there are so many worksheets available. If you have accessed that particular data sheet, you can find there are so many worksheets available. Using those worksheets, now we will see how Excel can help us, because when I talk about Excel, usually in our what I guess in the data analysis journey, Excel is useful for us firstly for cleaning our data. So what are the steps we need to perform to clean our data? After cleaning our data, we are making that data analysis ready, and after that we can perform various kind of analysis. We can go for the descriptive statistics or descriptive summary. We can find using the statistic using the Excel, and that way we can further go for the inferential statistics. So friends, any one of you can tell me what do you mean by descriptive statistics? Anyone?
Ma'am, descriptive statistics is a branch of statistics that defines the data, putting it to graphical representation like tables, graphs, charts. It describes the data that you have, means and stuff.
Okay, fine. Ritika ma'am said using the descriptive statistics, what we can do, we can describe our data, we can summarize our data, and there are various methods we are using to summarization of the data. And these methods are generally measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion, measures of distribution, and we can also use the visualization techniques, like we can use various charts and graphs to present our data. So after that, after describing our data, after understanding what our data is, what type of data or what type of behavior our data is showing, further we will go and we will apply for the inferential statistics. So can anyone tell me what do you mean by inferential statistics? Yes. I think please be interactive, friends. Anyone?
Ma'am, inferential is again includes hypothesis testing, where you're using testing methods to get some result out of your data.
Okay. Fine. Thank you, Ritika ma'am. I think only Ritika ma'am is interacting. Maybe she is finding it comfortable, or she is in a position to unmute herself and can interact. That is great, ma'am. Thank you so much for that. So, if I talk about inferential statistics, as ma'am said, it is generally the hypothesis development. Yes, it is hypothesis development. Means using the inferential statistic, we want to infer about the population parameters. We want to get the insights about the population parameter. Usually in research, what we do, we are taking a sample, and that sample, or using that sample, we want to infer or we want to make inferences about the population parameters, whether that sample is truly representing the population or not, that we need to ascertain, and that we are doing using the hypothesis testing, right? So I think now we are okay and ready for the Excel. So give me a second, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, no, I think I have just a minute. I think I need to open a sheet. Give me a second. Yes, I think I have opened my sheet. I hope it is visible. Any confirmations?
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah. So friends, as I said, usually when we want to apply any kind of analysis on the data, firstly we need to make it analysis ready. So we need to, in a process to make data analysis ready, we need to check certain things, right? So I'm starting with the very first thing, that is the removal of the duplicates. or duplicate row you need to remove. That means might be possible if you are collecting data in a hard form, means in not you're not sharing your data through the Google form or etc. To make or maybe what I can say, to increase the accuracy of your data. Suppose you are collecting the data in through the hard copies, and that way you need to enter your data manually. So maybe in a process you have entered a data of a person twice, right? So in that case, if you're finding, or if it is not like that also, means it is not, means you're not in a position to recall that you have entered the data twice for a person. So still you can perform the removal of the duplicates row once for our own sake or for analysis sake, so that that way duplicacy can be removed from the data, right? How you can perform duplicacy removal for the rows in the Excel. So I think the sheet is quite visible to everyone. May I start explaining? I hope you people have opened your sheet also and you can perform along with me. Yes. Any confirmations?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
That's great. So I think two people said they are performing along with me. That's great. So I'm coming on a data. Yeah. Now you can see here in this data, I have taken name, gender, and age. Right. Here is our purpose is to remove the duplicates from the data. So for removing the duplicates, what you need to do? Firstly, you need to select your data. So this way you are selecting your data. You do not need to select the headers of your column. I hope you understood. So I am selecting my data from row number 4 till row number 13, and all the 3 columns are selected. I hope you got it. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Further, you need to go
Yes,
on a
ma'am.
data tab. I hope you have found the data tab.
Yes, ma'am.
Now here you need to check. Maybe you are directly getting the icon where you can see that duplicates or remove duplicates is written. If not, you need to check the symbol. So you can find that symbol in the data tools section. Here you can see in the second row, second option is with the name remove duplicates. So if you have found it, you need to click on this. Once you are clicking on this, the dialog box is appearing like this. I hope it is okay. Everyone has found it.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So once it is opening, you can see it is asking you that from which particular columns or columns you want to remove the duplicates. So that way you can see by default all the 3 columns are selected. And as you can read, the heading says removing duplicate rows. So if we want to remove the row, that means whatever is given in all the columns, we want to include them. That is why you need to include all the 3 columns. Means whatever number of columns given, all should be selected if you want to remove a particular row from the data, right? After that, you need to only press on OK button. Once you will press on OK, you can see that Excel is giving us a message: 2 duplicate values found and removed. That means 8 unique values remain. Previously, you can see there were total 10 observations, but in those 10 observations, we were having the 2 duplicates entry, right? So that way, Excel has removed those duplicacy. I hope it is okay.
Yes, ma'am.
May I proceed with the next sheet?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Coming to the next, talking about removing the spaces. So might be possible if you are collecting data manually, right? And you are feeding that data manually on a Excel sheet. So sometime it happens in hurry. Maybe there are certain extra spaces you have left in a particular cell, right? But in Excel, there is a limitation. If you want to perform any kind of analysis on the qualitative data, right? So in that case, you need to be very careful. You need to see this thing whether the extra spaces are there. Means before the name of a particular, say for example, here I'm talking about mail, right? So you here you can see clearly that before mail there are certain extra spaces are there. Quite possible there can be some extra spaces after mail also, right? So that way you need to remove all the extra spaces, whether it is before the particular word or whether it is after the particular word, right? So for removing them, what you need to do? So I'm coming in a cell number C4. I hope, do I need to increase its size? I'm increasing. Yeah. I hope it is visible now.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you need to come on a cell C4, right? Here you need to put a equal sign, and I'm typing TRI. As I have typed TRI, you can see there is a function named as trim is available, and you can see its working is what? It removes all the spaces from the text string except the single spaces between the words, right? So that way you need to select this, and it is asking you the text. So I'm selecting, suppose this, and I'm closing the bracket. It is done. I hope done.
Yes, ma'am.
You can press enter, and that way if extra space was available there, it was removed. Now I am what I'm doing, I am stretching it till the last cell, and you can see for every different value, means after that when you are dragging the formula till the last cell, so that way same formula was copied, only the reference was changed. That means here you can see it was A4, now it is A5, A6, A7, A8, A9, and A10. So that way in the formula bar, you can check this, that the referencing of the cells has changed here, right? So from each of the entries here, if any of the entry is having extra space, it has removed, right? Similarly, you can perform on the occupation also. Here also you can write trim, and then you can give the status of the occupation. Press enter, and then you can drag it. So that way, any of the extra spaces available in the entry can be removed using the trim function. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
May I proceed with the next sheet? Friends, yes. Everyone, I hope everyone has performed. Uh, I hope you can understand the limitation of the Zoom Meet. Sorry, of the Google Meet. I cannot see anyone. If anyone is giving any expressions to me using smileys, or anyone is writing something in the chat, I cannot see that. Fine. I'm coming in a missing value sheet now. I hope my screen is visible for the missing data.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Here, what you need to see, here you can see again we are having the 3 columns available, but in some of the columns you can see some of the values are not available, right? Might be possible a person, when you are collecting data manually, it happens many of a time people are not responding to particular questions, or maybe in hurry they forgot to give a particular response for a particular question. So that way that thing becomes missing value. But here you can see data is very small, but usually in research data will be large for us, right? For the demo purpose, I have taken only 20 entries here. So for example, if I want to find the missing value in the age, right? So I'm coming down. Suppose here I'm writing, I have written here missing value count, right? So here I'm writing equal using the function count, right? I selected count. Now you need to give the range of your column. So I have given the range. I have closed the bracket. B4 to B23, right? And then I'm pressing enter. I hope everyone has seen what I did. Yes. I hope it is clear, everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So that way, firstly, we have calculated the total filled entries. So filled cells are total 17 cells are filled. Using the count function, we did that. Now, if I want to get the missing value, you need to put a equal sign, type count, and select count blank, and then give the same range. Done? May I press enter?
Yes, ma'am.
You can find missing count is coming 3. And then if I get the total values, so total values are nothing but it is a sum of the filled cell and the missing values. That is 20. You can see we are having total 20 observations here, right? So sum is coming as 20. Now, if I am dragging the same formula to the next cells, because in Excel it is a very beautiful facility available. If you want to use same formula for the further ranges, you can drag it. So I did this. You can find I'm getting 0. Now I need to inspect this thing whether there are filled values available in the cell or not, in the range or not. So you can see there are so many cells which are filled, but still we are getting 0, right? So the reason is of getting 0 is that if you are using the count function, so the count function can only count the numeric values. Here we are having the string values. Here we are having the character values. So if I want to count character values in place of count, I need to use count A. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm pressing enter. Now I'm dragging this formula from this cell to this cell, right? Now, similarly, I think there is no problem. You can calculate this and then you can drag this. I hope missing calculation is clear. May I proceed?
एक्सक्यूज मी मैम,
Yes, ma'am.
मिसिंग कैलकुलेशन में मेल अर्न सर्विसेज का एक बार आप प्लीज एक्सप्लेन कर दीजिए फिर से.
Okay, fine. So, ma'am, what I said, I think, may I know the name?
कविता.
Okay, Kavita ma'am, okay, you need to see here what I said. In the previous count, you can see here I want to get the filled cell count, that how many of the cells are filled in this particular range. So I have used here the count function, right? But the what I can say limitation of the count function is that it can only count the numbers, right? But when I talk about when we are having the values which are in the character form, which are in the string form, so count function will not work. So what you need to do, you need to use count A function, right? And then you need to give the range.
Yeah, got it. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, thank you. So I hope it is clear. Missing is same what I have calculated in the previous for the previous range, right? It will be same here also. So missing calculation is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now we are moving further for the next sheet with the name merging splitting splitting worksheet. So click on this. I hope you people have clicked this, right? If you have opened this, just a minute, I'm increasing its size. Yeah. Now you can see here, suppose I am having the address. But if I want to do any kind of analysis using the address, or might be possible I am having a particular sentence available. I have suppose collected certain suggestions for a particular topic from the respondents. And suppose they have written in a particular, because once you will extract the data from the Google form also, right? So whatever has written in a particular field, it will be shown in a particular cell. So suppose you are asking for a suggestion, so that will be shown in a particular cell only. But might be possible you want to, once you will are checking it and you are finding it, there are multiple suggestions given by the particular respondents, right? So that way you want to bring them in a particular cell. You want to separate them. You want that one suggestion should be in a one cell, second suggestion should be in a next cell. So that way you want to bifurcate them. So here there is a facility available in Excel. That way you can do that, right? So here I'm using this data only. But if you are having such kind of data that you can use for separating it, right? So now what you need to do firstly, you need to firstly select your range of the data. So I selected from the range A4 to A8. I hope you have found it. Right? May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Now
ma'am.
what you need to do, you need to come to the data tab. If you are already there is no problem, or else you need to click on the data tab. Once you are coming here in the data tools option, in the data tools section, you can find a very first option is available with the name text to columns. Right? This particular facility in Excel will provide you the procedure of splitting your data, right? So I am clicking on this. I hope you have found it. Done. May I proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
Now what you need to do, you can see it is showing the preview of your data. So our data is looking like this, right? Now you need to click on the next button. I'm clicking on the next. Now you can see, I think space and tab was coming pre, right? So we will go with this only, right? You can see, hello, may I start explaining?
Yes, ma'am.
Can anyone tell me whether you people are getting two delimiters, tab and space both, or they nothing is selected here?
Ma'am, I'm just getting tab.
You are getting this tab. Fine. So I suggest remove the tab. We'll go with the space.
Ma'am,
Fine.
I'm getting both the things, delimiters,
So,
tab
ma'am,
and
tab
space.
we can uncheck. Click on miss. Keep it.
Okay.
Keep only space.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
Fine. After that, click on the next button. Once you are clicking on the next button, it is showing column data format. So there are various format available in Excel, like general, text, and date, etc. So by default, it is showing us general. So here we do not want to make any changes. If you want to make changes, if you want to define the type of your data, it is text data, it is date data. Whatever are the options available that you can select for according to your convenience, right? In the destination, you can see it is asking you from which particular place, means if you want to split your data, so from which particular cell this splitting will be shown to you, right? So here what you need to do, it is showing us A4, means from the same cell it will make changes in your data, but I want to keep my data as it is. I do not want to make my changes in my original data. So what I'm doing, I'm selecting this option, and suppose I am showing, or I want to make changes in from the next cell. So I have selected the destination as B4. Fine. Any blank cell you can select. So as you can see, every data is there in the A4. B4 is blank, but it is showing you because there is no entry there in the B4. That is why you can see this is coming in the B4 also. But B4 is the blank place, right? So I selected B4, and then you need to finish only. So once you will click on finish, you can see the bifurcation, that how your data is divided. So wherever the space will be observed by the Excel, it will split your data from there. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So this
Yes,
way,
ma'am.
yeah, so this way you can easily perform splitting. Now we are going for the joining of the sheet. So you can go for the next sheet with the name joining. Now, usually this data I have taken according to the business prospect. Generally in businesses, we are having such kind of data, right? Just a minute, I made a mistake, I think. Yes. So generally in businesses, we are having such kind of data. But suppose you can firstly understand the data. Here we are having two tables. One table is the order table and second table is the customer table, right? In the order table, we can find we are having the customer ID, we are having the order ID, product ID, amount paid by the customer, and the city. But you can find that city is the blank column, right? We want to fill here the city. Means suppose a customer is ID, customer ID is 1. So he belongs to which particular city I want to bring that thing, right? So this particular data is available, suppose in the next table with the name customer table, right? Here we are having customer ID, that is with the name customer. We are having name, we are having email ID of the customer, we are having the city of the customer, right? So here, if you want to fill this particular range, we are having a function called VLOOKUP in Excel. So you can put on a equal sign. You can type VL, that is VLOOKUP, right? Once you are using this, you can find it is asking you the lookup value, it is asking you the table array, it is asking you the column index, it is asking you the whether you want the exact match or you want the temporary match, right? So suppose I want to look for the customer ID. I selected here the customer ID, right? Fine. After
Yes,
that, put
ma'am.
a comma. Yes. After that put a comma, and then go to the next table and select its range like this. Done.
Yes,
Then
ma'am.
it is asking you on the column index. So from this particular table, the column will be fourth one, that is city, right? From you want to pick a city of a customer ID 1. So I have given here 4. That means we want Excel to search the value of a customer ID 1 in the city column, right? Put a comma. Then it is asking you for the true match or for the approximate match or for the exact match. So I am putting here the 0. False means 0. True means 1. You can either type false as it is, or you can type 0 or 1, up to you. Both way it works, right? So I have written here 0. 0 means false. False meaning is exact match. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
You can enter. You can see the city for ID number 1 has entered. Now I am dragging it down. Then I hope done.
Yes, ma'am. Done.
Fine. Thank you so much for the confirmation. Moving towards to the next sheet with the name pivot table. May I start explaining this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as I think you people have heard maybe about the pivot table in Excel, so it is a very important tool of Excel. Using the pivot table, we can perform or we can create various kind of tables in a very easy manner. So you do not need to invest or invest so much time in making the tables. If you are using or knowing how to use pivot table, using that you can do so many types of calculation in a very easy manner, right? So, before performing or creating any types of table, firstly you need to know how to create a pivot table. So, in a section, in this particular table section, where you can find any of the data is filled. Suppose I am coming here in this particular cell. Here you need to come firstly. Means any of the cell means you need to keep your cursor on any of the cell which are filled in the table, right? Then go to the insert option. And you can see at the extreme left, we can find pivot table. Click on this. Once you are clicking on this, the beauty of the Excel is that because you have put your cursor, you have selected a particular cell which is in the range of the table, right? So that way, Excel has understood that this would be the range of your table. So by default, it has taken the range. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now you can see in the next section, it is asking you where you want to insert a pivot table, in a new worksheet or in an existing worksheet. So I think we should not go with the existing worksheet. By default option is okay with us, because that way we can keep our original data as it is, right? So I'm going with the by default option and clicking on the OK button. Once I click on OK, you can see we are having the pivot table new sheet is added in the Excel, right? Now all the fields, means all the column headings which are available in your sheet, you can see in the first section, right? And below that you can find there are 4 sections available with the name filters, columns, rows and values, right? So I think we all know how to create a table. There can be certain values in the row, there can be certain values in the columns, right? So these two are very simple to understand. Next one is the values. Now in the combination of rows and columns, what value we want to keep, right? So suppose I'm coming here, I'm just checking the order ID. I hope you can see what it did. It has sent it to the values section, right? Second, I'm selecting suppose reason. Done. Fine. And I'm selecting the amount. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So here, firstly, you need to see what it did. It has sent the order ID in the values. So do you think it is correct? Order IDs are only the unique ID provided to a particular customer. So we do not want to convert them. We do not want to perform any kind of statistical operation on them, right? So you can see it has what it did. It has added the IDs, right? So you need to shift IDs from rows to columns. Then I hope it is fine.
Yes, ma'am.
A very small voice is coming. Yes, ma'am. I hope you got it, everyone.
Yes, ma'am, got it.
Ma'am.
Yeah. So that way you can see we can create the pivot table. Now, if you want, just stop it. Now, if you want to create any kind of charts, that also you can do, right? So for chart also, just stop it. Yeah. You can see in a Excel, there is a very good feature available. If you are performing anything in Excel, its related extra menu will be available here in the menu section. So as we are on a pivot table, you can see one more extra icon and one more extra menu is coming as the or tab is coming as the power pivot, right? I hope you can see. Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I think I expect you to go to the analyze option. Analyze menu or tab, right? So once you are coming on that, you can see at the extreme right, you can find pivot chart, right? Once you will click on this, pivot chart option will be in front of you. If you want to okay with the suggested chart, you can click on okay, and that way you can see for the same thing, it is giving you the chart as well, right? Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Now, I think before going to the coding, I think there is a last sheet available with the name chart. I hope everyone can see. Firstly, we will go on the chart sheet and then we will come back to the coding sheet. So go to the last sheet with the name chart. Right nowadays, I think we all have heard there is various tools available which are generally focusing on the data visualization, because data visualization is a very smart and a very simple technique which can do wonders for us, because many a time it happens when we are having the large data. Looking at the data, we cannot infer anything. But when we are showcasing or displaying our data using the various kind of visuals, like when any particular chart we are using to show the data, that way we would be able to understand the trend of the data, or we can understand what are the patterns available in the data, right? So there is a utmost importance of the data visualization nowadays. If I talk about the charts, there are chart section available in the Excel. Using that, you can draw various kind of graphs and chart. Apart from that, there are tools available like Power BI and Tableau. Nowadays, I think you people have heard about data visualization, storytelling using Power BI, etc., or Tableau. So these are the tools which are generally nowadays used for the data visualization. But it is not like we cannot do the data visualization using the Excel. Few of the, or what I can say, the simpler type of charts are available in Excel that we can use for showing or visualizing our data, right? So suppose you can see here we are having a data. Just yeah. So you can find we are having organic traffic, social traffic, and referral traffic. for the particular months, right? So this is a data of a company. If I want to visualize this data, so first you need to select this data like this, right? After that, you need to go to the insert option, and then you can find there are various charts. Means under the chart section, you can find various charts are available. One more facility is available in Excel. Suppose we are unable to understand which type of graph I need to plot for the data. So you can go to the recommendation section and it is showing you the various recommendations, right? So generally you need to know firstly the which kind of data you are having. And you can find here the traffic on a various kind of platforms for a company is available along with the months, right? So that means this is a kind of time series data we are having. And for time series data, generally the best graph is the line chart or line graph, right? So here I'll go for the second graph like this, and you can press on OK. So that way it is showing you, just a minute, that way it is showing you the chart. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Now there are various facilities available, formatting facilities are available, I think, but I think being a mentor or being, I think we are all belonging to the teaching fraternity. Most of us, we are belonging to that fraternity. So I think I do not need to talk about on that particular thing, and we all know how to decorate our graphs. So using those options, you can decorate them. I will not talk on that. I'm now coming to the next sheet. That is the last sheet with the name coding. This is a very important feature, right? So generally we know once we are collecting the data from the various sources, like if I am collecting the first hand data, that is the primary data using the questionnaire, right? So we need to, so firstly we need to design the questionnaire, right? So for designing the questionnaire, various skills we need to use. So like previously, I think at the start of the session, I have asked from you people types of skill. So one of that skill is known as the nominal skill, right? So nominal skill example, I have written here the marital status, suppose, right? Similarly, ordinal skill is generally liquid skill is known as the ordinal skill. Dichotomous skill means where we are having only two options. So example can be the gender. Numeric skill, suppose I have asked the ages, I want to know the age of the people, but generally I think it is not a good idea.
काट डालो ये चाहिए था सारे काट लो अलग कर दो बाकी से मुझे वो बनाना है चलो रख दो उसमें यूज कर लेना उन्हें जर्नल
I think Garima ma'am, please mute yourself.
So I think if I talk about the numeric scale or numeric data, so say for example, if I want to know the age of a person, I think it is not a good etiquette to ask the age of a person directly. So many a time what happens, we are creating certain class intervals, right? So if I'm creating age groups, so that way that thing comes under the numeric type of skill, right? Similarly, derived skill. So, for example, derived skill we will see in the coding section. I think the sheet with the name sheet 1. You know, in that I will explain you the mean this derived skill or derived coding, right? So these are the various skills available. Say, for example, if I talk about the nominal skill. So as I said, marital status can be the nominal skill variable. So I think we all know in the marital status generally we are asking, are you married or are you single, right? Might be some people are asking widow or something also. So depending upon the requirement of your study, you can ask the status, right? Now you need to code your data. So generally we can code, suppose married I'm coding as 1 and female I'm coding as single I'm coding as 0, right? So this way you can do a coding. So wherever you will find married, you will give it 1. Wherever you will find it single, you will give it 2. Similarly, coming to the Likert scale, we all know it is generally strongly agree. So strongly agree, generally we are code as 5. Agree, we are coding as 4. Neutral, we are coding as 3. Disagree, we are coding as 2. And strongly disagree, we are coding as 1, right? Similarly, gender, Suppose male and female, I'm giving 1 to male, and suppose female, I'm giving 2 to female, right? That is a coding. Age group. So suppose I'm asking 18 to 25. I have given I have given a code as 1. Similarly, 26 to 35, coding is 2. Suppose further I have given above 35, I have given as 3. Likewise. So depending upon your requirement, upon your scale, whatever you're asking from the expert, that way you can give the coding for your data, right? This I'll discuss here in this particular sheet. So I'm expecting you to open a last sheet with the name sheet 1. Everyone has opened it?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Now what you need to do, I'm selecting my entire data till column number n. Don't go for the gender, right? Select your data. Selected? Data selected? Any confirmation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. If data is selected, what you need to do, you need to press Control H. Done?
Yes.
Yeah. So once you are pressing Control H, you can see Find and Replace dialog box is coming. Suppose here I am writing very satisfied. Done? In the find what I have written very satisfied, I am replacing it by 5. Okay? May I press on replace
Yes,
all?
ma'am.
Yeah. You need to click on replace all. Done? Coding done. 228 replacement we have seen. Now I am giving very dissatisfied. And I am replacing it by 1. 13 replacements done. Now I am replacing dissatisfied by 2. I hope it is fine. You people are cope up with me. May I press on replace all? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Click on replace all. Done. Now coming to the satisfied. Giving 4 to satisfied. Clicking on replace all. Done. Right now, rather than coming here and writing neither, I think neither is what? I think I made a mistake. Just a minute. It is neither 4 nor 2. Okay. I have copied it. What it did, wherever Excel has found dissatisfied and satisfied, it has converted it with 4 and 2, right? So what I have done, I have copied it. I'm again going pressing Control H, and I am replacing it like this. And here I am giving 3. Fine. So you can type also neither 4 nor 2. Because if you can recall, we have replaced satisfied by 4. So it was neither satisfied nor dissatisfied type of thing. So it has changed or converted dissatisfied and satisfied by 4 and 2. Right? Now you can replace, click on replace all. Done? Now lastly, I'm copying this. Yeah. Done? One more option is there in a scale, that is don't know or not applicable. So I am replacing it by 6 and clicking on replace all. That way you can see coding part is done. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Now I think I'm inserting one column here before this gender. And suppose, as I told you about this coding, that is the derived mean of the variables, right? So you need to insert one more column after the Q question 4G, right? After that, I have inserted one more column. Here I am putting equal sign and typing ABE. You can find average function is coming, and I am taking the average of all the questions like this and pressing enter, right? You can done. Clear?
Ma'am, could you please repeat this?
Yes. What I did, I have kept here a equal sign. I typed AVE. I selected average function. I have given the range from question number 1 to question number 4G. That is B2 to N2. Then
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
press enter, and then you can drag your formula till the last cell to get the average for every row. Right? So these are the satisfaction scores, because this is the question which what I think you can see the coding what we have replaced. Satisfied is satisfied of thing, right? So this question is for the customer satisfaction, right? So we are getting these satisfaction scores here. So this is the derived values. Now talking about how we can perform a statistical analysis here. So if I talk about descriptive statistics, visibility is okay, or do I need to increase the size? Now fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So we are writing mean, median, mode, standard deviation, variance, skewness, kurtosis. This is what you need to find, right? So there are so many functions available with the name average, as I said. Suppose I want to find the average income, right? So you need to select the complete column range, that is Q2 to Q14. You can type also. It is not mandatory you need to write, right? You can type also. Done? May I enter? Any confirmation, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So that way you can see the average we are getting here, right? Now for median, there is a function called median. Again, you can give the same range. I think range was Q2 to Q114. I typed it, right? Enter. Similarly, mode function is available. So I selected mode. I have typed the range Q2 to Q114. Right? So it is coming as not applicable. That means there is no repeated value available. A standard deviation, SPD, EV. This function is available. Again, I'm typing Q2 to Q114. Right? Pressing enter. Similarly, variance, Q2 to Q114. VAR is the function for variance. Skewness function is SKEW. Right? Then Q2 to Q114. And kurtosis function is KURT. It is Q2 to Q114. I hope everyone has seen it. Mean, median, mode. I am writing the function name here. Function name is average. Function name is median. Function name is mode. Function name is STDEV. Function name is variance. Function name is SKEW. Function name is KURT. Then I hope clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Now
Yes,
you
ma'am.
can see, yeah. I think we have seen these calculations we have made, but every value says something to us, right? So here you need to see. If I talk about, because when I have taken income, income is a continuous variable. It is a variable which can be in the decimal points also, right? Continuity can be there. So that way you need to see for this variable whether the income is normally distributed or not. So using the skewness and kurtosis, we can comment on the normality of the data. So usually for the normally distributed data, skewness should be 0 and kurtosis should be 3. But this is for the normally, which is the exact normal distributed data. In real world, you cannot find such kind of data. Maybe it is very rare, you can find also, but it is very rare, right? So you need to compromise with, I can say compromise means somewhere you need to ascertain this thing whether your data is normally distributed or not. So there are threshold values available. Generally, you can take it as -2 to 2. And okay, it is not taking allowing me to enter minus. Just a minute. Okay, so I am writing it as minus because this is Excel, right? So -2 to 2. Then similarly, here it is -3 to 3, right? So these are the ranges you can take. So once you are taking these ranges, you can see the, for skewness, you can find this value is coming in this range. For kurtosis also, you can find this value is coming in the range. So that way you can say this thing that your variable is approximately normally distributed. It is not exactly, but approximately normally distributed. So that way you can ascertain the nature of your data. Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Now the last and the important thing I want to let you know, I need to check here. I don't know how many of you are using Excel. If you're using Excel, you know how to uh, embed that data analysis toolpack in Excel. If you are not using, you are new to performing this kind of analysis. So I'm guiding you how you can do that. For that, you need to go to the file menu or file tab. You need to click on that. So friends, I request you please see properly, note down the steps or perform along with me to add this particular facility of Excel in the main working file of your data, of main working file, right? So here I have clicked on the file menu or file tab. Then I am clicking on the options button. Once you are clicking on the options, you can find at the second last position in the left pane, you can find there is add-ins available. You need to click on add-ins. Once you will click on add-ins, this is Excel. So I think Excel is also smart because every nowadays softwares are smart, right? So Excel is very smart. It is showing you the relevant or the related toolpack only or related add-ins only. So as it is knowing that it is on Excel, it is showing you analysis toolpack, right? In the next section, in the last section, you can find under the manage Excel add-ins is written, right? You need to click on the go button. Once you will clicking on the go button, you would be able to see analysis toolpack is available. And in my case, checkbox is there because it is already added in my Excel, right? If you want to add it, you need to check on this particular checkbox and then you need to click on OK. Once you will click on OK, you can find it, right? But I think I'm not pressing on OK because it is already available in my Excel, right? So I'm closing it. I hope everyone has seen the process. Any confirmations?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. May I click on OK?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. So once you have added it, where you can find it under the data tab, you can find it. In the data tab, you can find at the extreme right, data analysis icon will be coming for you. This is a new addition to your Excel, right? Fine. Everyone has found it. Please give any confirmation, friends. Any confirmations? I think it is very difficult to understand in a online mode whether people are listening to me or not. Is it okay? May I click or go ahead?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay, fine. So if you people have added it, you need to click on this. Once you will clicking on this, a dialog box will come. It will show you various kind of statistical tests available, right? By default, it is showing you descriptive statistics, which we have performed using the functions. But if you want to get descriptive statistics in one click, you can go with this. You can click on OK button. Once you are clicking on OK, such type of dialog box is coming. It is asking you the input range for which variable you want to calculate the descriptive statistics. Suppose I selected the same income column, right? Then it is asking you, your data is grouped by column or rows. Means your data is available in a column or in a row form. So you can see data is in a column form. So by default option is column only. We will go with it, right? Then it is asking you labels in the first row. So if you can see the selection of my data, you can find in the selection I have included the heading of the column also, right? So I am selecting this particular checkbox. I am saying to the Excel, yes, there is a label in the first row, right? After that, it is asking me the output options. So these are the output options available. In this way, you can generate your output. So the first option is the output range. That means in the same sheet, your output will be generated. If you want to generate your output in the new worksheet, you can go with this, or in the new workbook, you can go with this. So I'm selecting the output range here only. Then I'm clicking on this box and giving the location of a blank cell, right? Then I want to calculate the summary statistics. So I have selected the first box, and then I need to press on OK. Once you will press on OK, you would be able to see the summary statistics for the income variable, and you can find almost whatever you have calculated, similar values almost you are getting here as well, right? Is it okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Min max
Yes.
is also, yeah, min max is also coming. So if you want to calculate min max manually, so there are functions with the name min and max. So that's the same function you can use here as well for calculation of the for manual calculation. So this way, this is the descriptive statistics. I think time is over, but still I'll show you one hypothesis testing here, how you can test the hypothesis in the Excel, right? So friends, you can see we are having the average score of the customer satisfaction. Either you can take this or you can take income. Which variable I need to opt for making my hypothesis? Please suggest. Any suggestions?
You can take income.
Sorry,
You can take income.
income. Sorry, fine. So as ma'am said, I am taking your income. So suppose I am making my null hypothesis. I want to compare the income of male and female, right? So I am writing here, there is no significant difference in the mean income of male and female. This is the hypothesis I have made. So whenever we want to find the difference type of thing in using a hypothesis, so the two tests are suggestive here, t-test and ANOVA test, right? So as ANOVA, there are, I think you have, you people are having that understanding when to use ANOVA, when to use t-test. So t-test is used when we are having the two groups. So you can see we are having the two groups. One group is of male, second group is of female, right? We want to compare the income of male and female employees, suppose, or whatever is this is, right? So that way we are having the two groups. So here the appropriate test will be the t-test, right? So now to perform t-test, you need to go in the data tab. You need to click on the data analysis and then go down, and you can find there are t-tests available. You need to select the appropriate one. So the t-test, two sample assuming unequal variance and assuming equal variance is available. So suppose I'm selecting the unequal variances and clicking on the OK. Now it is asking you to give the range of your data. But friends, you need to understand when we are talking about Excel is little different from the other softwares, right? Because it is asking you the range of first variable and second variable. That means the income of the male and income of the female you need to give. But when you will look at your data is not like that, right? So that means you need to firstly make your data ready for that. So I'm canceling it. I'm coming on a gender, clicking on the home tab, and here I am using this filter option. Right now, just a minute. I'm using the filter option like this. Right now, I don't know why I'm not getting filter here on gender. There is some problem. No problem. It is showing me when I'm dragging it, right? Now I'm clicking on this and I am deselecting select all and selecting the female, clicking on OK. So this is the income of the female. I'm copying it, Control C, adding a new sheet and suppose pasting here and writing here, this is the data of female, right? Then coming back to the sheet, again I am going on this filter option. This time I'm selecting the male, clicking on OK. And then selecting the complete range, copying it and pasting here, right? Now writing here, this is the data of male. So this process you need to perform firstly to do the analysis in Excel. And then you need to go to the data tab, click on the data analysis, select the appropriate test. Now you need to give the range. So I'm giving the range of female employees salary or income, and then I'm giving the income of male persons, right? Then hypothesize mean difference. Here you do not need to pass anything. You need to click on the labels now. Labels means, as you can see, I have given the range from the first cell only, right? So that is why I selected here the labels. Then alpha value is 5%. So I think it is okay for me. Output I want to generate in the same cell. So I need to give the range of a blank cell. So I'm clicking on this and pressing on OK. Once I will press on OK, I would be able to see the output of the t-test. Now you can see we are having various things available. We are having the mean income of male and female both. Here you can see that variance of male and female is given here. Total observations, total 62 females data we are having, and total 51 males data we are having. Hypothesis means we haven't passed anything, so it is coming as 0. Degrees of freedom is 108. Now T statistics. This is your calculated value of the T. Now two P values are coming here. One tail test P value and two tail T test value. Generally, we are using the two tail test, right? So we can report this T value, this P value. So thumb rule says if your P value is greater than 0.05, in that case you need to accept your null hypothesis. So as our P value is greater than 0.05, it is 0.33. So it is greater than, right? So we are accepting the null hypothesis, and if we are accepting the null hypothesis, we can conclude this thing that there is no significant difference in the mean income of male and female employees or persons or respondents. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So friends, this is all from my side for the day. And this way, I think you can find the utility of the Excel in the data analysis world. So for the primary researchers, for the basic researchers, you can use Excel and you can perform such kind of analysis. You can guide your students that how Excel can be useful for analyzing the data, right? So thank you all for patiently listening to me. Thank you RFI, Ajay sir, Neha ma'am, and all the members of RFI for giving me this opportunity. Now over to, I think, audience. This is now QA round, question and answer round. So if you are having any questions, please ask.
The form is open now. If you have any questions, please go ahead.
Hello. Any questions?
No questions, ma'am. It's very well explained, and the constraint is the time.
Yes.
If we get a chance, then we'll meet again.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Sarkar.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Great session.
Thank you, Sukriti ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Ritika ma'am. Can I expect you people to switch on your camera so that I can capture you? I can see to whom I was interacting. If you can switch on. if it is possible for you. Hi, Ritika ma'am. Okay, I think I can see Ritika ma'am. Anyone is interested to switch on his or her camera? Okay, fine. Any queries you are having? No queries? Fine. Over to you, Neha ma'am, if no queries. Yes,
Ma'am.
sir.
Ma'am, if you don't mind, can you just give your email address so that we'll be back if there is any like queries in the future.
Yeah, definitely, sir. I am writing there in a chat box.
Thank you.
Okay, I think I've posted, sir.
Yeah, madam, got it. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Yes. No more questions, nothing? Over to you, Neha ma'am. I think there is no question.
Yes.
Neha ma'am,
So,
over
as
to
we
you.
conclude today's session, I want to express my. Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, yes.
So I want to express my sincere appreciation to every participant. A heartfelt acknowledgement goes out to sharing expert Dr. Chancellor J. Ma'am for sharing her expertise with us. Consistently, she displays